Here we go, guys. We're ready.
So
hey, guys. Welcome to Smells Like Teen Angst. And today I have a very interesting crew to discuss Gossip Girl, episode 4. Let's do it. Yes! Gossip Girl, episode 4. Guys, so going off of this, before we get started, I want to dive in to like one comment because, you know, we've had some thoughts about Julian and her character. And I feel like this comment makes sense. So I just want to get your thoughts on it. So we're going to do this real quick and then we will dive into the episode. I think Julian not being mean is the point. That is why people like her. She's not feared like the usual queen bee. She is an influencer, and influencers are relatable. The evil part of her are Monet and Luna, but they operate behind the scenes, and I'm calling it now. Zoya has the attitude and is bolder than Julian. It's all good because she has good intentions now, but if she shifts that, we will come to terms that she could actually be the evil queen bee type.
Okay.
Agreement.
Interesting take.
Yeah, I liked that. I was like, yeah, I see that is her point. We want her to be relatable. She's an influencer. We don't know. We find out in this episode why she's an influencer.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like the idea of Zoya becoming the queen bee and the villain of it all.
Well, she's definitely showing a different side of herself in this episode as well, where you could definitely see the irrational Beezy coming out of her, and she could become, she could do it.
She could, yeah, potentially. For me, at the moment, I see Zoya as more of like a Jenny Humphrey type, but she could evolve into becoming Queen Bee status, who knows? Because that actually was kind of Jenny Humphrey as well, as we saw in the later season of season 3. She did get that queen bee status. So I don't know, for some reason that's kind of the vibe she's giving me, with being like the whole outsider thing, wanting in, and then potentially getting influenced by everybody around her and kind of becoming the thing that she doesn't want to be. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I can absolutely see that. Keiki, I see you have thoughts.
I can't remember the character's name, but I thought it was Nikki on Gossip Girl.
The original Gossip Girl, or the new Gossip Girl?
The original one.
What did they do?
Dan's like girlfriend. She was
his bestie?
Vanessa?
Yeah, Vanessa. Oh my god. I see her as Vanessa. It's really weird.
I like that.
She is with the lonely boy character. He has such a lonely boy voice. Like.
Yeah, she gives me Vanessa vibes. Like, she's spunky and like not really with the glitz and glamour bullshit. I mean, if we can't call it glitz and glamour, but you know.
I mean, that's fair. Before we keep going, guys, I didn't introduce you because I'm such a bad host. So like, this is my fun panel today. And just do a quick intro of why people should listen to you and love you and where they should find you. Shawn, I'm going to start with you.
Yes, my name is Shawn. I am the host of Lost in the Reel. I talk about movies, television on my channel, and that is also my Instagram and Twitter. And I talk about a lot of hidden gems, so a lot of shows or television shows that you might not have heard of, as well as a lot of the big stuff too. But I like to talk about things that you might not have heard of, but you should check out.
Love it. Becky.
I'm Feel-Free Becky, and my channel consists of a movie and TV commentary, including Gossip Girl. And I like to think I'm hilarious, but that's up for you to decide. So come check me out.
It's precious. Kiki!
I'm Kiki. You guys often see me here on Smells Like Teen Angst. I love talking about anything angsty and, you know, just YA related. So you can find me on social medias at The Life of Kiki, and you will always see me here.
Yes. love it. And I'm Sarah. I'm always here on Smells Like Teen Angst. And we do Riverdale. We do Teen Angsty reviews. Anything that's got some sort of angst in it, we're all about. And that is purely Gossip Girl. And I've got these crazy people together with me because we all like to talk this show. Mm-hmm. So now that I've got the formalities out of the way, let's dive in, shall we?
Let's do it. Head first.
Just like that. Cannonball. I want to start kind of the opposite way that we started last week, because I feel like the characters kind of flip-flopped, where the most boring became the most interesting and the most interesting became the most boring. Right? But maybe, yeah, I know. That's how I feel.
Claim it.
Taking it. So let's start with the Audrey Aki-ness of it all. So we left off last week that there was like this little like threesome going on. Audrey's like, oh my God, I slept with Max. And Aki's like, oh my God, I made out with Max. And now they're just kind of like weird and not talking to each other. And then they kind of have this like beautiful little through line finally by the time we get to the end, where she's like, we'll figure out everything together. What did you guys think of their little like kind of boring storyline this episode?
Oh, I see Shawn shaking his head. I want Shawn's thoughts first.
Shawn, what did you think of the Aki Audrey storyline?
Well, if you haven't been watching us, you know my thoughts on Audrey. I think she's a total beezy. I think Audrey shows her true colors in this episode and is once again totally undermines everything about Aki and who he is, and then tries to bring this guy along who also ends up, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but he ends up being gay. And that I'm like the whole time, like in these last couple of episodes, all I want is for Aki to be like, find his voice and be like, I'm going to break up with you. And then he doesn't. And I'm sure, I don't know if we want to go further into this, but the bisexuality thing, I'm all about it. I'm about bisexual representation in television. We don't have a lot of it. It's either one way or the other. They never talk about bisexuality and representing that. But all I care about is Aki be gone with Audrey. That's just me.
I don't disagree.
Oh, I disagree.
Oh, Becky,
I'm sorry. Oh my
God,
I'm
don't be sorry.
Sorry. No, because I want to agree with you on everything. Okay, but for me, I actually really liked their storyline in this episode, because at first I was so like, Audrey, you're being so self-absorbed. Like, you're not even thinking about Aki right now. Like, can you like take like just she was bothering me. But by the end of it, I actually found more likability with her, and I actually liked her more because she finally did take a step back and did realize, like, hey, like, I have been thinking about this the wrong way and have been going about it just thinking about me, where I'm not actually thinking about what Aki's going through. And when she did have that conversation in that moment with him, I really enjoyed that, because I felt like that was very genuine and very honest, and she was thinking about him and this person that, you know, I think they've grown up together, but yeah, that she's like, you know what, we will figure this out together. Are you gay? Like, you know, let's talk about it. And so I liked it. I don't know.
What were you thinking?
I've never been here for this storyline. You can't have a character super femme and flamboyant and like all of this, and then try to throw in that there isn't some type of freedom in their sexuality, or that there isn't some type of knowing. You know, I feel like they really try to play up Aki as someone who like has absolutely no idea who he is, and his fashion would suggest otherwise, you know? And yeah, I'm not saying that colored hair is something specific to, you know, a queer culture or something like that. I'm just saying that all his eye exchanges since the first episode with men, they've let us know for a very long time that it could be on the table for him. And then we have Audrey, she's so self-absorbed. She really doesn't care. And when it comes to the cast, like, she seems the youngest of everyone. Like, it drives me kind of crazy. Like, I don't even understand how she's friends with someone like Julian when she seems like she's younger than Zoya.
That's interesting.
Interesting.
I'm here for a storyline of self-discovery. I do appreciate that at the end of that conversation that he and Audrey had, that he was like, she's like, I regret sleeping with Max. And he's like, well, I don't regret kissing. And I feel like that was a really strong moment for him as a character that we haven't really gotten to see, even if it was kind of like, took us 4 episodes to get there, you know?
It's really hard when the audience is so knowing for so long to actually empathize with the character for discovering something. So I'm like, good for Audrey for growing, but also we've known about this forever. Like, this would have been better in the first episode than in the 4th, in my opinion.
I totally understand that. I think I feel like the self-discovery story would have been more powerful if they hadn't have made it so obvious in the first episode. So I think the journey would have been so much more interesting for us as an audience. But now we are, it's still only 4 episodes in, but we're also 4 episodes in. So this journey of self-discovery doesn't seem much of a surprise to us as an audience. So I definitely get where you're coming from, Keiki, for sure.
Yeah. So let's jump to a storyline I don't want to give a ton of time to because I'm so over it, which is the Max storyline at this point. He comes back from Sinai, right? Which is a fun little...
You were all about it last week.
I was. No. Hold on. Hold, please.
Okay.
I was not about this part of the storyline. I'm all about the Aki Max thing, absolutely. But like, Max is now like coming back from like Mount Sinai, which I think is kind of a fun throwback to the original Gigi because that's where Serena's brother was when he had his whole thing. Yeah. So, but he comes back and now he's like all after the teacher, which we have never approved of. And then like, this casualness with the teacher in the school locker room. And then like, he's just standing there naked, like it's nothing. And then he comes over and he's like, fuck it. And I'm like, no one wants this. No one is here for this.
No one. And can we stop feeding this into youth-centric shows? Like, why are we leading into this idea that we at all should be interested in our superiors, our elders? Like, grooming is done. Like, we're done with this storyline. #me too. Like, no more.
So over it.
So over it. We had it with Pretty Little Liars. We had a teacher. We've had it with even back in Dawson's Creek. You know, Cruel Summer.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Generation, every high school show. You don't need
even
it.
Original Gigi actually had it too.
Oh, you're right. I forgot.
It did, and we don't need it anymore.
No.
It's just so bothersome because especially like the age demographic you're targeting. Like you're targeting the high school kids, and it's like almost glamorizing it in a way where it's like, oh yeah, like maybe you should go for your teacher. Like, oh, it's a scandalous hot thing.
Teacher.
Like, no.
And
it's not okay.
I could maybe get behind it if it was the other way around. Like it was a grooming story, a grooming lesson. But that's not what's going on. No. It is literally a child going after their teacher and the teacher being like, forget it. He's 17. He's of age. But that doesn't make it okay.
No, say it for the people in the back.
Will.
Yes, exactly. And we've talked about this show being, we want more glamour. This is not the type of glamour we want. And this is a trope we've seen before. So not only is it not creative, also not glamorous. Let it go. I was really sad that that's how they ended this episode.
Oh, yes.
They gave so much to Max in the 3rd episode that we could grab onto and grasp onto, and then they just let it all go by making him act like a drugged out lunatic, and he's still acting crazy over his dad splitting up, which I get is a really difficult situation. But why is he still a mess? Why is he going to? Why is the teacher letting him back into his house? I hate all of it.
All of it.
Thank you so much, Shawn, because that's my biggest qualm about the whole idea is that I was finally in the third episode like, oh my God, I finally have a character I like. It's definitely Max. Max gives me those Chuck Bass vibes. He's fun. He's unique. The guy owns that he's a sleazeball. He's a dirtbag. And then we completely weaken him in this episode. And I'm just over here like, should I care anymore? Because now you're just kind of being like a druggie crying for help and not taking anything that anyone's giving you. And where's the strength? Where's that guy who knew himself? Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree completely. Like, we took such a strong character who was so, as you said, who knew himself, and we gave him this trauma with his dads, which I think was actually such a good storyline.
So good.
Of how even adults continue to grow, and you can grow together or you can grow apart. And for like, you know, and like, yes, people like our parents are not perfect. Our parents are humans. And that is such like a traumatic experience for all of us when we realize that, you know?
Yeah.
But then they completely squashed everything they built for him and then completely ruined everything in the end with the teacher. And I just want the teacher fired and gone. There was a comment from someone, I didn't pull it up, but they said something about how if it was if it wasn't his teacher and it was some other adult, that we would all be shipping it and rooting for it. And I was like, I don't know who you think you're talking to. That is not the case in any way, shape, or form. Absolutely not.
No.
I think this man's supposed to be like 30, isn't he? Like I think he's supposed to be like around 30. Like
And you know, Max is 17. Like he's a junior in high school, so he might be 16. It's like 16 or 17 when you're a junior, depending on your birthday. So like,
I think they did try to say something. I might be wrong, and I hope the people in the comments will say something if I am wrong. I think they tried to slip something in there in one of the past episodes about him possibly being of age, but just like almost 18.
Right.
I might be wrong.
No, they did. You're right. He said I'm of age, but of age in New York is 17.
Oh, okay.
But then also, how does that work with, because they're not seniors yet, are they?
No. They're
So
juniors.
then would he have failed?
No, you could be a junior and be 17. If he's 18, then he got held back.
Yeah, he's 18.
Or he had a birthday in December like I did, okay?
Could be that.
Yes. But that's all I want. I don't want to give a ton of time to that because I hate it. And I think it doesn't deserve a lot of time because it's gross and no one asked for that. And I think it's a really terrible idea that the showrunner had and he should have done.
I do want to throw in the idea that giving him this type of reaction when, lest we forget, he's the one who created this whole web to break up his parents and let all the skeletons out of the closet. Like, it just does not line up. Because if you're making your own mess, you can't take the heat. Like, what is this? Get out the kitchen then. Like, you did this.
I mean, you ain't wrong. You're not wrong.
Very true.
Like, what were you expecting to happen, bro?
Yeah.
What did you want? Like, you did this.
I know. And then he like comes back and he's like, my dad yelled at me and blamed it all on me and said it was all my fault. And I'm like, I can't with you, sir.
I mean, it is your fault. But then for him to be, like, being so self-destructive, and then this is where it's like it's really gross because he's being so self-destructive and he's in a really dark place, even though I don't agree with how he got there or why he's in such a self-destructive place. But now the teacher's taking advantage of a young child in a very unsafe space, and it just even more gross and nasty.
So gross.
Super vulnerable.
Wrong.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
What I wish for too, like if they're gonna do this and make him self-destructive, at least like have him be in the arms of like either Aki or Audrey. Like at least we could have developed that because we know it's going there. So why aren't we focusing on him and developing his relationships with these two?
Give us the throuple.
Yeah.
Yes. Polyamory would save Twilight. Polyamory would save Gossip Girl. Yeah, I agree with you completely. What an easy solution. Have him show up at Aki's terrified, like crying and upset.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Now,
Becky
that would have been a way to
nailed
end
it.
Window.
it.
I would have been so much happier with that.
Here's the
Yeah.
window. They went through the wall.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, so let's jump into like where Gossip Girl is at the moment. So like Gossip Girl, you've got the teacher who is like, I have this special opportunity. And so she lets the other teachers take over Gossip Girl, which was the worst idea ever. Because she wasn't trying to mess with Zoya and Julian on Zoya's birthday, which is like a tragic day.
Mm-hmm.
And the other teachers just couldn't let it lie. Couldn't let it lie.
No.
Like, what were they thinking? I feel like that was such a terrible idea.
They're just getting worse and worse to me. Like, the more and more they progress, the more ickier they get to me. Like,
yeah. I do like the fact that like it took it out of her hands for just a second, because for a minute I was like, why are you so obsessed with these kids? Like, you just started working here. Like, girl, get over it. Like, you know, okay, they're meaning, they call your jacket ugly. Like, get out of their business.
yeah.
But now I'm like, okay, they're showing that she has an addiction to it. It's in someone else's hands. It's all these teachers doing it. Like, now everybody's hands are dirty, and that makes it feel a little bit better. And I don't know if you guys know this, but like the actor who plays Kate, like the teacher, her name's Tavi. She like started like the Style Rookie when she was 12. She was like a 12-year-old influencer and kind of like did her own fashion thing. So when they made a call to it for Julian, I was like, oh, hell yeah. Like, this is Tavi's story. It does happen. It exists. So like,
interesting.
big up to her. I like that they weaved who she is into the storyline.
Yeah, I didn't know who she was. I thought that was super interesting. We were
neither.
sitting on the couch watching. She's like, oh, wait, this is her.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's really good to know. I love getting those different perspectives because I mean, it definitely adds something to her character and makes me, you know, like her character more because that is a part of her story. And I think Keiki, you had a really good point because I also think that now with the teachers, yes, we see that she's addicted, but we also see that the balance of power with Gossip Girl can shift at any moment. So like a teacher can block somebody and then now the other teachers have control. So it shows that it's not just one person in charge, it's like all of them, and things could go out of control really quickly. So that actually makes me a little bit more interested to see like where if that balance of power can be shifted a little bit more.
Yeah, it makes it scary, especially now that Gossip Girl is like school network wide, right? It's at not just their school, it's at other schools. So it's like, where does the power dynamic end? That was kind of like the main thing on the teachers. So now I kind of want to jump to what was kind of the super boring story last week, which is now interesting. I loved the Zoya, Julian, Luna, Monet-ness. Like, this is the level of petty I dream of in my life. You know what I mean? Like, you see that they're trying to be, Zoya and Julian are trying to be friendly. And then you have just like Monet and Luna, like, no, she has to be gone. This doesn't work for us. We need our Julian back. She's not wearing makeup. She's like, Julian does this whole video about being natural and, you know, like not wearing makeup. I'm going au naturel and like not caring about a huge photo shoot. And Julian and Monet are like, what's happening? Where's our girl? We have to bring her back and take her down. The only thing that I think doesn't quite make sense is we never saw that Julian. We've only heard about that Julian. So
yeah, true.
That's a good point.
If we had seen that Julian, I think this would actually help make this storyline pay off more. But we've never seen that really shallow girl, the girl who only cares about this or that. We got like a hint of it in the first episode, but that was kind of it.
Yeah, when they were talking about who she used to be, I'm like, well, I don't know that girl, so why do I care? Like,
we don't know her.
We don't know her. She doesn't even go here.
She doesn't go here.
Yes.
She doesn't. We've never seen her. I appreciate we got to know why Julian is like famous and is an influencer because like she was like a kid on a red carpet doing interviews for her dad, which I think is really cute. And so like she grew up in the public eye. She on her own, like with her dad doing her own thing, probably on YouTube, you know, back in the day. And now it kind of grew into her being an adult and like making her own little influencer life. And I've been wondering this for 4 episodes. So thank you for finally telling me why she's important, why we care.
Her dad, Kmart G-Eazy.
Yes.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my
I
God,
really
I
need
can't
to
I
unsee
know.
live
now.
for the dad's relationship.
It's a
Okay.
good relationship. I like it that they're building it up. I like that whole little end part with the dads. It's like there's something sweet going on amidst all of this madness. I'm going to disagree with you, Sarah. I'm sorry. I was not here for this storyline at all. At all in any way.
Fair.
Okay, so Monet and Luna, the pettiness you're talking about, I'm getting it from Monet and Luna. And I see where that's coming from. And Monet's line really quickly. Of course she goes soft. When she said that about Julian, when she was giving her like after that whole thing, I was like, you just read my mind, Monet. Like this girl is going back to her old ways. She is reverting. She is doing the same thing that she's been doing for the past 4 episodes that I hate. So I'm not here for it. I still think I have no idea why Zoya's mad at her again. They don't really explain it. Julian comes with a crip and she's like, here, you want a crip? I get that their moms, what happened with their mom. I totally understand how difficult that would be. But Julian was coming to Zoya trying to be sweet and trying to be sisterly. And once again, Zoya overreacts and becomes irrational again. And that dynamic between the two of them, it's just not working for me.
Yeah, it is very much pulling at straws. Like Zoya, like Julian. Nope. Zoya is mad because she thinks Julian's the one who leaked her birthday to Gossip Girl. And then it just kind of like, then you have like Monet and Luna kind of like throwing out other little nuggets. And like the whole eviction notice, Zoya assumes Julian's the one who is that leaked it to Gossip Girl. So like, it's not their pettiness I live for, it's the other stuff. And especially because we get Georgina's son in this episode.
That was awesome. Yeah.
That little apple does not fall far from the dramatic tree. And he's like helping her, like attacking Julian with Russian butts and all this like little stuff. I was like, this is the pettiness. That's the pettiness I live for, is all these like little back and forth between the minions. But I really need to know why Georgina has this giant photo of Blair in her house.
That was so weird. I was like, what? Is he Blair's son now? Like, I got confused for a second.
Yeah.
I was like, why is there a picture of Blair?
She's just worshiping Blair on the side.
It's like a giant photo.
Like a shrine for Blair. I don't know.
Yeah.
I do want to piggyback on Shawn as well, actually, when it comes to that storyline, because I feel like one thing that bothers me a lot is the fact that, Zoya overreacts. And I feel like it's very unwarranted because she'll have so many conversations with Julian where Julian's like, hey, like, you're my sister. Like, I'm okay with you dating Obi. Like, they have so many conversations like that where Julian, like, reassures her, like, hey, like, there's no bad blood on my end. And then all of a sudden, like, she'll just assume Julian's behind doing all of these things, that it's like, well, why do you think that though? Like, Julian hasn't proven to be like that. Like, she's trying to be nice to you, and she's proven time and time again to like be on your side. So I don't understand like where this is all coming from, like in Zoya's perspective. And like, I feel like it's very like
Zoya is a boyfriend stealing tramp.
She is.
Who is sleeping with her sister's man. Like, that is disgusting. I could never. I have 3 sisters, and I would never.
Girl code.
Never.
So that's why that's Zoya's own mental Olympics from being a trash human. That's how I see it.
That Zoya projecting her own guilt out into the world of maybe what Zoya would do to Julian, and assumes that Julian's doing it to her because she will stoop to that level, as we've seen.
Yeah.
Very true.
Projection.
that kind of goes back to that original comment that we put up, though, that Zoya could be, Miss Queen Bee. She could become the villain because, she is showing what kind of, as you said, Keiki, a trash human, so we'll see.
Yeah. Can I just say, though, because now we're talking about the Opie Zoya stuff, get you a man who will get you food trucks for your birthday.
Yeah. I was like, excuse you? Boyfriend, take notes.
I'm like,
get me a whole
fleet. A whole fleet.
Yeah.
I was like, look, girl, I know
I don't want a G-Wagon. I want a fleet of Scrooge.
I know. I'm like, look, I know it's a sad day. Your mom, we learned that like Zoya's mother passed in childbirth because of complications with lupus. And that is very sad. I understand why she doesn't want to celebrate her birthday, but be a little nicer to people who don't know and just love you and want to show you that they care. Okay.
Yeah,
exactly. And who get you food trucks, so.
Food trucks. So I want to talk about the drama at the party. How do we feel about the reveal of why Zoya was kicked out of school? We're going to start there. How do we feel about the reason why Zoya is kicked out of school for spray painting and bullying?
I knew it was going to be something not that scandalous. I knew it. I'm like, she's either like cheated on a test, maybe got in a fight, but it's not going to be anything that's like over the top. Like I know that, and I wanted it to be scandalous.
I wanted to be scandalous. They built it up
so much, and then it was just like
nothing.
Exactly what you said, Becky. They built it up. I was dying to know. I was like, she slept with a teacher. She burned down a gym. Like she's the ringleader in a Carrie situation. Like I wanted it all. And I really was hoping for a really good reveal. And then it's just some crappy video of her like spray painting a wall and getting locked in a room. Like she was bullied and we shouldn't bully people. Like, come on, guys.
Shawn, do you have anything to add?
I just, once again, I feel like these writers are like torturing us, and I feel like they should know better. And I know that they can do better because I see little glimmers of like really great things in this show, but then they're constantly letting you down. This whole thing is the example of like, okay, she did some graffiti and like that was horrible that they locked her in there and that whole thing, but like that's what the reveal is. And then Julian's speech, and I'm sure we'll give that a little bit more talking.
That's next.
Because
what did everyone think of Julian's "I'm a bully" speech?
Thanks for the lesson. Is this a Grazie? What is happening?
I'm so sorry. Like, is this the Disney Channel? Like, I don't know what I'm seeing right now.
It's an after-school special, apparently.
It's just, the thing is, okay, my thing is, I like what they're standing for, because obviously, screw bullies. Like, I will advocate for, like, standing against bullies all the time, all day, any day. Hate them. Gross. But the way they came about it, to me, it was just the most cheesiest thing ever. And I felt like, I was watching a Disney Channel original movie or something when she gave that speech. I was like, you could have done this in a more subtle way. Like, we get it. We get it. You don't have to, like, put it like that for us,
Yeah. As someone who was wickedly bullied in school, which I was for like 6 years of my life, that's not the speech I wanted to hear. No. I don't need an apology from her. I don't need any of that. I don't need you to tell me to take out my phone, record this. I'll never bully again. And this is what I'm here for. No, I want her to own up to it. I want her to be proud of the choice that she made. But in the end, that's not the Julian they're giving us. It's this wishy-washy Julian who's being played by her friends and she just can't see it. And I just don't think Julian is that dumb. And I don't like that they're writing her that dumb.
Yep.
I really don't like that Julian is this dumb. And I really don't like that her minions are people whose parents we don't know. We don't know their background.
I
Right.
can't
In
wait
Gossip
for
Girl-
it, though. I need it.
In
Yeah.
Gossip Girl, we knew who everybody's mommy and daddy was and exactly how the hierarchy lied and exactly who and where everything came from. So that is one thing I cannot stand because I don't understand how she could be so easily manipulated by these people.
Yeah.
But I cannot wait to see Julian actually become something. Whether it is the complete loser with no friends or her taking back her queen bee status. Like, I just need Julian to be something because we're centering a show around somebody who has nothing going on. And that makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Such a good point. That is such a
Great
good point.
I concur.
Yeah.
It is so frustrating.
Sarah, with your point on like being bullied, obviously everyone's been bullied and it is what it is, and I don't think we should ever make fun of bullying, but that's not what we're doing. I think we're just saying the material in this show, in that speech, is not nuanced in any way, shape, or form, and it's not the speech that we needed about that.
It's so forced.
It is so forced, and
forced.
it just it gave me nothing. It didn't give me any feels. It just, at the end of the day, I'm like, I like Julian less, I like Zoya less, and I already didn't like these characters very much.
Yep, exactly.
You ain't never lied.
Yeah. So I just really hope in the upcoming episodes that we will get so much more from every character. We need more backstories. Like, for me, the brightest spot in this entire episode were the dads, which we kind of touched on a little bit, but they've never given us the relationship between Zoya and Julian's fathers. So like, we've kind of had to write our own. And I feel like they were probably, because like, I don't remember which dad said it, but he's like, maybe our daughter's fighting is a good thing. Because it forces us to work out our own shit. And that makes me feel like they were best friends. Like there was something, and like while Zoya's father was while Julian's father was going through his drug addiction and his alcoholism before wanting to go to rehab, I feel like they were best friends, and like he was like, Zoya's dad was good friends with the wife. And like she confided in him, and they like bonded over this trauma that they were going through together before Julian's father was ready to go to rehab. That might not be the story, but that is like the nuggets that they're dropping for me that I'm picking up. And I kind of really like them.
You literally just made an amazing story out of out of what they've given us so far. Honestly,
that was a delicious meal that you've made out of crumbs.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just like, my story maker brain is on. I'm just like, why do they care? Why are they fighting? Why are they happy that their daughters are here? Like,
no, because I never thought about it either.
Said something super important that we've been talking about. Well, you've been talking about, but I've been talking about all season to myself. Is why do we care?
Yeah.
That's the one thing we're missing from every single episode. Is
I love that. Yeah.
Why do we care?
Yeah.
And why do we have to be coming up with our own stories and our own like crazy things that are going on? Because they're not giving us enough. And I don't care.
Blowing my mind here.
I don't care. We're 4 episodes in. Like they've had enough time to give us enough, and they haven't delivered it yet. Besides a lot of things that I don't want to see at all.
Yeah.
Get me started on the teacher again. I can't.
We know everybody's name. We've seen everyone hook up, but we still have no idea who they are and why we give a damn about them.
Yep. Also, I really need someone to explain to me the whole name clue thing.
Oh yeah.
I still don't understand it. Can someone? Like they're like, our mother left us a clue. Zoya Jane, Julian, whatever.
Julian Elizabeth, Zoya Jane.
Yeah. How does that? What?
If you made it this far in our conversation and you know the answer, please comment it. Please tell me what it means, because I don't know.
No idea.
Yeah. So hopes for next week. Anything or any other things that we didn't touch on that you have in your notes that you want to discuss?
Oh, I just have one plus actually that I liked. I did like that they touched on cancel culture in this episode.
With Julian.
And I also liked that scene where Julian was trying to think of a way to clap back after the whole cancel thing, and where she kind of manipulated her mother's situation and like kind of played the sympathy card, because I feel like both of those things are very relevant for today. And I feel like, you know, obviously cancel culture, we see it, we know it. So I was happy that they showed that in this episode. And then I feel like that also happens too, where like celebrities, whoever they may be, might play on sympathy cards sometimes just to get people on their side. So I really like that they showed that in this episode. Yeah.
The Jamil comment in this episode.
Oh my God.
Jamila just like tried to stick up for her on Twitter. Like everyone's dying now.
I was dying because I was like, Jamila Jamil, the flip flopper of the internet. We love to see it. Thank you for being current.
Yes. Oh God, yeah.
Shawn, you got anything?
I do. The last scene of the episode when it's Zoya and Julian, they're with each other and they're like sharing cupcakes. You know, I'm like, okay. So this is how this story arc of every episode is going to be. Is we are going to have Zoya and Julian start the episode. We like each other. Nothing is going to make something happen, but they're going to start fighting about nothing. And then at the end of the episode, they're going to make up and they're going to go back to being sisters again. I feel like that's the story arc of every episode we've seen. And now they're feeding each other cupcakes in front of a window. So I need something different. And I hope if this is Julian saying I'm done with bullying, then be done with bullying and go with Kiki's idea. Make her a lame duck all of a sudden. She loses all these followers because she's no longer this vindictive bully anymore. But like make her be something and make her grow.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that completely.
Also make the minions have a point, because why are they playing this game? What's in it for them? What do they gain from this? It literally makes no sense.
Rich and famous and being, you know.
I know, like, I don't remember if it was Luna or Monet, but they're like, it could have been Suri Cruz, but I went with Julian. Like, and she's like, I don't want to work at my father's company. Like, okay, you can do PR anywhere. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
that's not enough to make us believe that these two ladies would be like this conniving and backstabbing.
Yeah.
But again, where are the stakes?
Yeah.
This was my least favorite episode of the 4 so far. Like coming off of such a high note with last week's episode, which I thought was so good. This was just like, we went from like the peak and we just like came crashing down.
Completely agree.
So next week, give me more, Gossip Girl.
Yes, please.
Gaga, I need more. Gaga. XGG, which I'm hoping to be surprised because, you know, as people who got to review the first 4 episodes, we don't know what's coming next.
We do not.
That's true.
No.
We do not.
We shall see. All right, my friends, thank you for chatting about the Gossip Girl with me. Let's one more time tell people where they can find you. And Shawn, since you're in the top left corner, I'm going to make you go first.
Thank you everyone so much for watching, of course. My name's Shawn. You can find me at Lost in the Reel on my YouTube channel where I talk about movies and television and hidden gems of all kinds. And then also Lost in the Reel is my Twitter and Instagram handle as well. Thank you.
Awesome. Keiki.
Hi. You guys know you can find me at The Life of Keiki on all social medias. And of course, I'm always here on Smells Like Teen Angst, talking about my likes, my dislikes, and a whole lot of other angsty news.
Awesome. Becky.
I'm Becky from Film Freak Becky. I do movie commentaries and TV show commentaries, including this one, and a whole bunch of random shenanigans.
Follow everyone. And I'm Sarah from Smells Like Teen Angst. And we'll be back next week for episode 5 in hopes that it gets better.
Please, baby.
Subscribe, like, comment, you know, all that stuff that I always forget to say.